Godzilla, my friends. Well, just when you thought King Ghidorah was gone away, you don't have to deal with him anymore, well, we've got a few surprises for you. In today's sixth movie in the Godzilla franchise, we're looking at Invasion of the Astro Monster, or Godzilla vs. MonsterZero. 1965, Honda and Sakazawa are back once again, giving us a story of astronauts who are on a joint venture to go explore Planet X, this mysterious planet that appears just behind Jupiter. And so we have this UN coalition of astronauts to go explore, Glenn Armour and astronaut Kei Fuji, and we see when they land that they run into aliens of Planet X who need the help from the Earthlings. You see, these aliens are being tormented by a creature they call MonsterZero. But the astronauts immediately recognize this beastie as none other than King Ghidorah, who is tormenting these aliens. And well, the aliens want to borrow our two titans, that is Godzilla and Rodan, and in return, they're going to give us the cure to everything, just about. Well, it's too good of a deal to pass up, though not everybody thinks the aliens are on the up and up, and we see how they take Godzilla and Rodan to their Planet X to battle King Ghidorah and get him off of their rock. But are there nefarious plans by these aliens? Well, you'll have to watch to find out. Godzilla versus MonsterZero, or Invasion of the Astro Monster, however you want to call it. This one's still a lot of fun, though. You can tell this really is where you can see they're changing the tone of the franchise, as well as the role of Godzilla, and just who their target demographic is. While you do get a storyline with a few dark places in here, for the most part, this film is definitely for more young adults, namely in the portrayal of Godzilla, who does a little bit of goofy things. He still kicks ass, don't get me wrong. Godzilla still kicks major ass and brings it to King Ghidorah, especially with the help of Rodan, who is still looking in fine form. But at the same time, he is a little bit more goofy. They have a battle on Planet X, and a little bit of a spoiler here, folks, but the first time they think they've defeated King Ghidorah, Godzilla actually does this goofy pose, and apparently what that pose is from the time, it was from a popular manga, and it was a trademark of one of the mischievous characters there, Laami, and if I mispronounced it, I apologize, but apparently they threw it in there because, he was happy he defeated Ghidorah. Well, after much debate, they decided to leave it in there, and if you're looking for a more serious Godzilla film, it's at this point where you're just like, oh. But he's still looking good, though less menacing. They've got bigger eyes on Godzilla. He's got a little bit more of a smile and a little less toothy grin. The suit here in general looks pretty decent, I think, for it. It's a new suit that they designed in it. The Daisenso Goji, I think, is what it's referred to by many. And yeah, you can tell that this is just a different Godzilla than especially who we started out with. Rodan also puts in a good fight, and he looks well. As far as the human story goes, I liked how it interwove with the aliens. I loved what they came up with for the aliens, their backstory. These guys, first looking like backup singers for Devo. I loved their design, but they kind of had a Devo look to them. But I liked how you weren't quite sure if these guys were on the up and up. Now, this is after Mysterians, which is a great movie as well. And so they reminded me a little bit of the aliens from Mysterians in many ways. And so, yeah, this is, I think, an enjoyable yet different in tone entry into the franchise. King Ghidorah still looking awesome as well. You do get some fun monster fights. You get some fun human fights here as well. And it kind of almost felt like this influenced V. If you've ever seen the miniseries V, this kind of had a little bit of that spirit to it, even though V wouldn't come out till like 20 years later. But it had kind of that feel to it. Yeah, I think the characters in here really portrayed well. Nick Adams and Akira Takarada are playing the two astronauts. They play off each other well. Got a great chemistry there between them. And we'll see Akira Takarada again throughout this franchise a couple more times. Akira Kubo shows up, and he'll show up again later on in a few more Godzilla films. But this is the first time he shows here as Tetsuo Terry, and there's an inventor in this storyline that they have who creates this sound device which plays a key role later on when they're taking on the aliens. So a lot of stuff going on in this film. It moves along very quickly, I thought, and I think it's interesting that it takes that sci-fi realm. And so if you're a fan of sci-fi, you really want to check this out. Some great mid-60s sci-fi action with some great props and just fun. It's still staying fun for me and not ridiculous fun outside of the jumping Godzilla. So please leave your comments down below for your thoughts on Godzilla versus MonsterZero. Did you enjoy this one? Did you not like the change in tone that they took with Godzilla? Really love to hear your thoughts on it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up and all of that. Check out our Patreon. I appreciate your support. And until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.